Good evening, everyone, and did it come on? It did, good. And welcome to this second meeting of Council. This is Monday, January 29th, and we are having a full Council meeting tonight. We're going to start with the singing of O Canada, so I will ask you to stand, please. Tonight we're hearing from Cairn Christian School. So thank you. So before beginning the meeting officially, I just have a couple of announcements. We have regrets tonight from Regional Councillor Woodavine, who's on vacation, and so he's not able to attend, obviously. I'd like to welcome Director of Public Works and Recreation, Mike DePaula, who is our acting CAO. So he's sitting in the chair. So Mike, we're glad to have you tonight. Thank you. And we have another person sitting in with us tonight who will soon be our Director of Legislative Services / Clerk, Nancy Fiorentino. And Nancy will be replacing Jessica very shortly. And so Nancy, welcome aboard. And I know that you've already been around to meet everybody. So we're welcome. Glad to have you here as well. So again, comments from the public for a matter that's on the agenda may be provided in person by attending the meeting and advising the chair during the request to address an item on the agenda section of the agenda. For those individuals that are unable to attend the meeting in person, you may always submit comments for matters that are on any agenda by either emailing jdyson@westlincoln.ca before 4:30 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Comments submitted will be considered as public information and read into the public record, or alternatively by contacting the Clerk's Department to request a Zoom link to attend the meeting virtually. And tonight's council meeting will be live streamed as well as recorded and available on the township's website by visiting events.westlincoln/meetings. So the township of West Lincoln, being part of Niagara Region, is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattahawkwarndarug, the Haudenosaunee, and Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The Township of West Lincoln, as part of the Regional Municipality of Niagara, stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. And we now will have an opening petition. Councillor Bradrick, you have that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We meet to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibilities to the past and the future, and the rights and needs of both individuals and community. As trusted servants, may we act wisely and well.
Thank you, Councillor. I'm now going to ask if there are any changes in order of items on the agenda. Okay, seeing none, are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest and or conflict of interest, councillors? And again, seeing none. I'm going to just point out, even though we don't have anybody here this evening with us other than our two appointments, I'm going to still give the information regarding the request to address items on the agenda for anyone who may be watching and want to come forward in the future. Requests to address items on the agenda are restricted to specific items as follows per Section 6.7 of the procedural bylaw. Under 6.7, public comment at council, there shall be no comments from the public permitted at council unless A, a specific appointment has been scheduled, or B, an item is included under the other business or communications or appointments section of the agenda and relates to a matter which would normally be dealt with at committee. So are there any members of the public present who wish to address a specific item on the agenda as permitted by Section 6.7 of the procedural bylaw? And I know there are none here, but Kevin, are there any people online?
Not seeing any, Madam Mayor.
Thank you then. Okay, so that does take us to appointments then. And so we have two appointments this evening. The first actually is John Netherway, Board of Directors for the Alzheimer's Societies of Niagara Region. So welcome, John. And I understand you have a PowerPoint presentation, and Kevin will help you get that all set up. Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
I don't think the microphone is on.
This one. No,
We don't want to
you drive.
We'll make sure that you can be heard. It's not about us hearing you in here, it's about making sure it's picked up on the recording. So
Understood.
Go ahead, John, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening to you and council. Thanks very much for the opportunity to speak with you all. You may or may not be aware that January is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, so I'm here on behalf of the Society of the Niagara Region and the Foundation Board of the Niagara Region to draw your attention to dementia and Alzheimer's disease, our organization, and our recently launched board recruitment campaign. Can you imagine looking in a mirror and not recognizing the person looking back at you? Dementia does not discriminate. It can affect anyone, and it is not a normal part of aging. No one is prepared for the impact that dementia has on a family. I guarantee that there are several in the audience, or perhaps watching online, that probably know this firsthand. They may be caring for someone with dementia right now, and I, for one, have plenty of experience doing so. For me, I first came to know the word Alzheimer's in my late teens and early 20s. My grandmother was leaving sticky notes all over the house, writing my mom vexatious letters randomly, and leaving the stove burner on, forgetting how to turn it off. Does any of that sound familiar? And not long after, my in-laws struggled to support their grandfather, who before going into long-term care would wake and shower at 2 or 3 a.m. thinking he was going to work, even though he retired only 20 years earlier. And it wasn't until his primary caregiver, our Graham, at 77, suffered a heart attack when Grandpa went into care, and shortly thereafter we lost her to a stroke, likely brought on by the stress of caregiving for him up until that point. We felt this as a family as a tragic loss, considering it was Grandpa who had the dementia. And now, of course, my father at 77, just 12 weeks ago, moved into long-term in St. Catharines as well because of vascular dementia. And we've been living with that as a family for almost 10 years. Alzheimer's and dementia are clearly prevalent in my family, but it's not unique to me. This is a problem, and it's prevalent in Niagara and the West Lincoln area. There are just a few stats here I'll quickly take you through on this page. Alzheimer's disease is already the 7th leading cause of death in Canada, and it continues to grow as a public health concern as the number of Canadians with dementia is rising dramatically. 1 in every 10 individuals over 65 have dementia, and every day, more than 350 people in Canada develop it. That's more than 15 per hour. And in Niagara particularly, as of our landmark study in 2021, our population over 65 years of age was 21%, which is noticeably higher than the national measure of 19%. So we are particularly exposed in Niagara. Currently, right here, at least 12,000 people in the region are living with dementia, and we know this is higher, as was the case with my family. Many residents have not been yet diagnosed, and those reasons for that can include lack of specialized geriatric services, an unwillingness to be diagnosed, and or just straight denial that cognitive changes are actually happening to oneself or their loved one. And here's a staggering one. Care partners of older adults with dementia provide 26 hours of care a week on average, and the combined healthcare system and out-of-pocket caregiver costs are estimated at a staggering $10.4 billion per year to care for people living with dementia. The Alzheimer's Society of Niagara Region is a recognized leader in the field of dementia care. Our vision is as a community where individuals with dementia and their care partners are fully supported to maximize their quality of life and well-being. Our service provision includes all individuals impacted, So the spouses, families, children, and friends who also need education and support to facilitate lifestyle, health, and wellness changes for that family member. Important to know, a physician's referral is not required, nor is a diagnosis to work with the Society. The Alzheimer's Society's First Link program is how my family got started getting the support we needed. Through this program, we were educated, validated, counseled, and assisted with pursuing a diagnosis and provided with the resources for appropriate care for our loved ones and, just as importantly, ourselves. Anyone concerned with cognitive changes for themselves or loved ones should contact our First Link coordinator. In addition to supporting my family personally, the Society does tremendous work locally and could do more for West Lincoln specifically. It is important for families to access services and the resources that are available. It's a long and difficult journey with dementia, and families don't have to do that alone. We provide individual and family counseling, we provide support groups, and a vast array of educational programs for both the living with dementia and their care partners, separately and together. Throughout the region, several social and wellness programs offering a wellness place, a welcoming place where clients and their caregivers can access information and support, as well as connect with others who share a similar experience. We have an event calendar for all the times and locations for programs and services throughout the region, and as part of the Awareness Month, we are also offering various education forums. You can check out the website for that. So after 5 years of amazing support in Lynn Haven, a regional long-term care support home in St. Catharines, my wife's grandfather passed away peacefully from dementia. Less than 2 years later, I mentioned in October, my dad just moved in to the same long-term care home with dementia. The same staff were there to greet us warmly, yet until Dad was placed there, we struggled to care for him, and my mom too, his caregiver, and we talked to between 9 and 12 professionals, agencies, and organizations who were involved in helping to support us. It was all an impossible challenge, and the only entity that really was there consistently from the start, all along, providing continuity of care and support through the journey, our touchstone, as it were, was and very much still is the Alzheimer's Society of Niagara. I'm now on the foundation board. We fundraise to support the Society's annual budget, and Mom gets both personal counseling and group counseling in the Society's programs, all free of charge to her. At one point, that also included respite care for her and Dad. The Alzheimer's Society is an indispensable part of our lives and a critically important resource to all affected by dementia. The Society's local mission is sustained through the efforts of its staff and local volunteers and the boards that serve them. And the Society does great work in West Lincoln, but we are not represented at our board level here. And we should be. And frankly, I think we need to be. West Lincoln deserves a local voice on such a critical issue to its community, and now there is an opportunity to remedy this. The Society's recently launched a board recruitment campaign, and all information, including the board applications, can be found on our website, alzheimerniagara.ca. And so as a takeaway of this presentation today, I would ask the following of each of you. Please reach out to your networks and share our message. Find that one person in the network that probably should join us from West Lincoln or just nearly outside, and share our presentation with them today. Please encourage them to go to the website, fill in the board application online anytime. We'll be hosting a Zoom orientation at a date to be determined in late March. There are several opportunities for talented folks such as yourselves or those you know to get involved with whether you have experience with healthcare, business, even fundraising ideally. And we, the Society, would very, very much like to connect with you. Again, we thank you for your time and attention today. With your assistance, we can help today and provide more hope for West Lincoln families tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, John. You can certainly see where your passion and compassion comes from in terms of the experiences that you've had to deal with personally. I'm just going to ask if anyone has any questions for... No? We'll do our best to find somebody. We will see what we can do. I've made a few notes, and I'm not sure whether we have an age-friendly advisory committee that may have already reached out, actually, to the Alzheimer's Society. We're doing a community forum for older adults in June. So if you haven't heard from us yet, you will, and
Please.
Certainly there'll be an invitation to take part. If you have someone who can come and share that information with our residents, that would be wonderful.
We definitely will. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And our second presentation this evening is Elizabeth Zimmerman, Executive Director of the YWCA of the Niagara Region, about the coldest night of the year.
Yes, thank you. So I don't have a PowerPoint presentation, and I'm not used to sitting. So when I do presentations.
Probably the last time you were here, we had a podium.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think we're just set up differently now because of the live streaming.
Yeah, fair.
But anyway, you can be comfortable and share.
There we go.
But thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and talk to you about coldest night of the year. But before I do, I want to talk a little bit about the YWCA and what we do. So we are the largest provider of shelter for women and their families who are experiencing homelessness in Niagara. We have shelters in St. Catharines and Niagara Falls, and we also do supported transitional housing programs. So these are programs that support women and families who need additional supports and are longer term. They can be up to 3 years. And in West Niagara, we have this one program. So we head lease apartments, and we have staff who support the individuals that are in those programs with, helping to set goals, helping them to look for solutions to the issues that they've been facing that have caused them to either become homeless or be at risk of becoming homeless. And as we know, access to housing is key to anyone being well, to anyone being able to move forward in their lives. And we know also that there is a huge challenge right now with access to housing, that there has been huge increases in the number of people experiencing homelessness, and families certainly are part of that statistic. It's often something we don't think about is how many children are experiencing homelessness. So in this past year, just in our family shelters, we had over 100 children that accessed our shelters. So the reason why I'm here today is to help ask for support for the programs that we run. We only run one event that's a fundraising event per year, and it is to support the program that we run out in West Niagara. And it's called Coldest Night of the Year. And Mayor, I know you've been a participant, and I think you are already...
We have a team registered.
That's what I've heard. So excellent. So the Coldest Night of the Year will be taking place on February 24th. It's a pledge-based walk 2.5 or 5 kilometers, and it is taking place in Grimsby at Mountain View Christian Reformed Church. It is a fun event, very family friendly. We have lots of kids and lots of families that participate, and it's an opportunity for the community to help support the programs that we run, and by doing so, support the families that are in our programs. So I brought some flyers with me to help. If that's okay, I can leave it with someone. And I'm just encouraging, we have teams from Grimsby, town of Grimsby, and the town of Lincoln, and we're excited that the town of West Lincoln is already on board, and would encourage you to all join, come and have fun. We also have a chili cook-off, so local local restaurateurs participate. It's a lot of fun. Lots of people actually come for the chili cook-off, so it's we have lots of people who participate year over year. And at the end of the day, when we do that, we're sending a message to the families who are vulnerable that their community cares, and that the community is looking for ways to ensure that they have the services that they need to be able to move on with their lives. So it's a short presentation. I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited that the town of West Lincoln is already on board, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Elizabeth. We actually have this year a couple of staff members, a couple of counselors, and a couple of people from the public that just saw that we put it on Facebook and said, we'll walk with you. So in any case, we're growing. Hopefully the support will grow, and hopefully the sponsorship will grow, so that we can actually have a fair number of dollars to contribute to the program. So
thank you.
We really appreciate
Very
you being here
appreciated.
tonight. I'm glad that I wasn't faced with, we didn't have a team yet, so it's always nice when the presenter comes and we can say, yes, we're in.
We're in.
So thank you for being here, though.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Any questions further for Elizabeth? No? Okay.
Excellent.
Good,
Thank you so
okay.
much. And I'll look forward to
We'll
seeing
see
you on the 24th.
24th. Yes, for sure.
Great.
Thank you.
Can I? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can you arrange the weather we have today?
Oh, yes, we'd like some decent weather.
I'll tell you that one year, one of the first years we ran, weather was 20 on the day of the event, and nobody knew how to cope with that.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, last year was okay. It was a good walking day. Yeah.
Yeah, we've actually, I probably shouldn't say anything out loud, but we've actually been pretty fortunate with the weather. We've had, yeah, we had one year that it almost started to rain, but it waited until the event was over with last time.
It's all good. Anyway.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you soon.
Yes, we do.
Thank you, Nancy. Okay, so regional council remarks are nil for tonight, unless he sent some to you, Madam Clerk? No, I think he just was happy to be going away. I know they left on Sunday. So that takes us right away to number 9, which is confirmation of minutes. So 9.1 is the council meeting, the regular council meeting from December 11th, with the confidential minutes under separate cover. And Councillor Rayner, you have that resolution, please?
I have part of it, Madam Mayor. Move on myself that the minutes of the open portion of the December 11th, 2023 meeting, I've only got part of this on the screen, with the exceptions of items number, and I haven't seen that, and the rest of it, I don't know. Just
So the other part, and the
Thank
second
you.
part is that the confidential
Yeah,
minutes
yeah,
related?
it's better now, thank you. Accepted
Okay.
recommendations contained therein be approved with the exception of item number, and I haven't seen that. And 2, that the confidential minutes relating to the closed session portion of the December 11th, 2023 regular council meeting be accepted, and that the minutes remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with exemptions provided under Section 239 of the Municipal Act.
Okay, thank you. So I need a seconder for that, please. Councillor Bell, thank you. Okay. I guess, questions, comments, none? We're ready for a vote then. Good. And it should be up on your screen. And that vote carries, thank you. 9.2 is the public meeting under the Planning Act from January 15th, 2024. Councillor Riley, you have that resolution, please.
I do. Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I have that moved by myself that the minutes of the public meeting held on January 15th, 2024, under Section 34 of the Planning Act with respect to zoning bylaw amendment 4813 Canberra Road, Ben and Pam Heaslip, file number 1701-003-23 OPA, and 1601-004-23 ZBA, and zoning bylaw amendment 5909, Regional Road 20, Shannon and John Molnar, file number 1601-009-23, and zoning bylaw amendment 9127, Regional Road 20, Larry Pomeranz, file number 1601-01023 be accepted.
Thank you. And someone to second that, please. Councillor Bradrick, thank you. Any questions or comments about those minutes? All right, and again then, we're ready for a vote, Madam Clerk. Good. And that resolution also carries, which takes us to 9.3, which was the public meeting, street naming for the Thrive subdivision, Mars Homes, and the minutes of January 15th, 2024. And Councillor Chichok, you have that one, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself that the minutes of the public meeting held on January 15th with respect to the street naming for 2 private streets within Mars Homes Thrive subdivision pursuant to the township's procedural bylaw 2003-48 as amended be accepted.
Okay, thank you. And someone to second that, please. Councillor Riley, thank you. All right, any questions or comments about those? Pretty straightforward. Seeing none, I think we're ready for another vote. And that also carries. So we're moving on to 10, which is communications. And it's 10.1 is Councillor Riley. This came from, I believe, our council information package, right? So thank you for pulling that. It's in support of the resolution from the town of Lincoln calling for a provincial commitment to provide municipalities necessary infrastructure funding to support housing as a result of the impacts of Bill 23 and other legislation. So I will just say that was a hot topic of conversation last weekend at Roma. So would you go ahead, please, Councillor?
Yes, moved by myself that the correspondence received from Julie Kirklos, Town Clerk of the Town of Lincoln, dated December 14th, 2023, be received and supported.
And someone to second that, please. Councillor Trombetta, thank you. Any discussion on that? Okay, so we're ready for a vote as well. And that resolution carries, which takes us to the mayor's remarks, which won't be so quick, so. Go ahead.
Madam Mayor? Turn it off.
Yeah.
Madam Mayor, you might want to clarify that our clerk is only leaving for a while. You said that our clerk was being replaced, and we welcome Nancy, but we're looking forward to the day when
Yes,
she comes back.
Oh, we are. We most definitely are. I'm not sure why you put that in there, but we're going to deal with that, Councillor. Thank you.
Okay, it's just you introduced her as the clerk.
Well, I introduced her as our new person, yes, but we will do a further explanation. Okay, so on to council remarks. So during the afternoon of New Year's Eve, John and I stopped into the Oli Bolin gathering hosted by Joyce and Jim Corneef, where in December of 22, at the same function, I first started thinking about a West Lincoln levy for 2024. It was a lovely social opportunity to connect with some of our residents and to wish them a happy new year. On January 1st of 2024, John and I attended, along with a few other regional councillors and regional chair Jim Bradley, the City of St. Catharines levy. It was a very traditional military-style levy hosted by Mayor Matt Cisco, held in the Lake Street Armory with some pomp, many toasts, and the firing of a cannon to mark the new year. The reopening of the township offices on Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024, was the start of a very busy week as work on the provincial minister delegation reports continued to be added to, reviewed, and reformatted to meet the Friday, January 5th deadline for submission. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our senior staff, Directors Treble, DePaula, DeFilippis, and Dyson, for taking time from their own busy post-holiday schedules to review and comment on those submissions in such a prompt manner. Also on Friday, January 5th, I was pleased to raise the flag of Crime Stoppers / elder abuse in recognition of the great ongoing work that this organization does right across Niagara. And so thank you to Councillor Chichok for also joining in on that event. Saturday, January 6th, Councillor Trombetta, this is for you. I was honored to host the first annual Mayor and Council New Year's Levy to welcome in 2024 with our residents. I appreciate that Councillors Bradrick, Chichok, Riley, and Trombetta, and Regional Councillor Witteveen and his wife Liz were able to come out to wish local residents all the best for the year ahead. It was also great to see former and current members of staff, including library staff, our clerk and deputy clerk, and our director of planning, out to support this event as well. A great many helped to make this event extremely successful, with approximately 140 skaters and just over 200 others representing all three wards, enjoying socializing with old friends and neighbors, while enjoying Oli Bolin, Greek pastries, warm tiny donuts, and Timbits, all washed down with coffee and or hot chocolate. All seemed to enjoy the beautiful live music provided by local artist Stephanie DeShane. I'll start by thanking Executive Assistant Jackie Thrower for the tremendous amount of work that she provided leading up to and on the day of the event. The young people, some of whom were members of the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee, for the polite and friendly service that they offered to residents as they served refreshments. They were a joy to watch as they worked together, each with their own task. They certainly impressed the adults who were in attendance, and I was very proud of all of them. I'd like to thank Liz and Albert Witteveen for their donation of pre-made Oli Bolin and pre-mixed batter to get the event started on time. I'd like to thank Ken, Lynn, and Nick Vernicioni, who mixed up the Oli Bolin mixture and kept hot, fresh, sugar-sprinkled Oli Bolin coming steadily from their concession booth all afternoon, and also provided some warm, fresh sugar and sugar with cinnamon mini donuts to add to the treats that being served. They have a new machine that was firing out these hot little donuts along the way, which were quite delicious. And I'd like to thank Recreation Center staff for their help with cords, tables, and other setup needs, staffing the public skating entry, keeping track of the numbers, provided free skate safety patrol, and of course helped with cleanup at the end of the afternoon. And I put this in as I felt it was really important. So I'm going to say, John fully supported my deep desire to organize and pay for this event, looking at it as another opportunity to bring the community together. But I don't think that he realized just how much shopping and lugging of stuff that he would need to do to make it happen. So I'd publicly like to thank John for his work to help make this event so successful. That same Saturday evening, Councillor Chichok joined us in attending MPP Osterhoff's New Year's levee, where many of the people that we had the pleasure of speaking with were actually West Lincoln residents, some of whom had already been present at our own levee that afternoon. Once again, it was a wonderful opportunity to interact with residents in a social setting. Building relationships remains something that I personally value, as I'm sure do other members of our council. The next event for West Lincoln was January 10th. When I had the opportunity to present to the Standing Committee of the province regarding West Lincoln's perspective on governance structure. That has been well reported, but suffice it to say that West Lincoln supports the status quo scenario, whereby the Niagara region remains, but with some tweaking to this relationship with lower-tier municipalities such as ours. The second part of the report identified that if, and only if, the province decides to make governance changes to Niagara region, changes over which we have no control, then it would be in the best interest of West Lincoln to work more closely with our West Niagara neighbours of Grimsby and Lincoln. In the meantime, we will continue to look for the most efficient manner to continue to deliver services to all of our residents. On January 17th, I attended a meeting at the Hospital Foundation office in Grimsby, along with the mayors and CAOs of Grimsby and Lincoln, and the Regional Commissioner of Finance/Treasurer and Regional CAO, to receive an update on the new hospital build and information regarding each of our local shares. The good news is that the hospital build is proceeding well and is expected to open mid-2025, and additionally it appears that there will be no change to our local share cost, which is due in January of 2025. That same morning, I also attended an announcement by Provincial Minister Vic Fedeli at Stampak. Stampak is investing more than $35 million in advanced equipment, robotics, and upgrades to increase the efficiency of its Smithville facility. This will include the creation of a machine shop to enable servicing of all machinery in-house. Minister Fedeli announced that Stampak is receiving more than $3.3 million from the province through the Regional Development Program for Eastern and Southwestern Ontario and will create 30 new jobs. It was my pleasure to be in attendance and to be able to congratulate Stampak on behalf of our municipality. On January 18th, Councillor Chichok is council liaison, and I attended the ribbon cutting to mark the official opening of the new location of the West Lincoln Chamber of Commerce office on St. Catherine Street in Smithville. I was pleased to be able to present them with a certificate from the municipality to mark that occasion. MPP Osterhoff was also in attendance and presented a certificate as well. January 21st to 23rd, Councillor Chichok, Regional Councillor Witteveen, and I attended the Rural Ontario Municipalities Association Conference in Toronto. We had a delegation on Monday, January 22nd, with the new Minister of Transportation, Minister Pragmeet Sarkaria. We were pleased to review with the Minister and his staff both the history of previous delegations and the importance to the future of our economic viability and sustainability, and additionally the importance of community safety that would be provided by a new Niagara Escarpment crossing. We were very pleased to have MPP Osterhoff sit in with us in support of this delegation. On Tuesday, we were able to present to Parliamentary Assistant Laura Smith of the Ministry of Tourism, Sport and Culture regarding the need to update the Ontario Public Libraries Act and to additionally ask that the provincial grant, called PLOP, be reviewed, A, in light of current expenses to small rural municipalities in particular, and B, the fact that it has remained the same for just over 20 years. For council and public information, although the province sets aside $20 million for such grants, when this amount trickles down to smaller libraries such as West Lincoln, the amount received for years on end has been $22,900, in spite of the increased costs for library operations. Generally, we were all very pleased with the discussions that we had over the course of the Roma Convention with various ministers and other mayors and councillors from across Ontario who, being of similar size, share similar concerns to ours, including the cost of providing services to residents and dealing with the rising cost of necessary infrastructure. On Saturday, January 27th, I was extremely pleased to drop by another successful business in West Lincoln and to congratulate them on their new location at the Plaza in Smithville. Breathe Massage started downtown in a small building, soon moved to add on an additional space on St. Catherine Street, and now has opened a very beautiful studio next to Giant Tiger in the Plaza. Congratulations to Andrea Yateman on the opening of this truly warm and welcoming space, Breathe Wellness. Massage and wellness, yoga and fitness, they have it all. Programs for beginners to the experience, from physiotherapy and osteopathy to acupuncture and aesthetics. They are a welcome addition in West Lincoln, and on behalf of the municipality, I was pleased to congratulate the owner and staff and wish them well in the future. And finally, in a Zoom meeting of the West Lincoln Chamber of Commerce at 4 o'clock this afternoon, I was honored to attend the AGM and to swear in their 3 new directors and their vice president. And as liaison to the chamber, Councillor Chichok was also in attendance. And that has been the busy month of January. So thank you for your patience, but it's been a very busy time. So we'll move on to number 12 then, which is report of committee, and it is the all committees meeting that we held on January 15th. And Councillor Bradrick, you have that, please.
Yes, thank you. Moved by myself that, 1, that the minutes of the open session portion of the January 15th, 2024 all committees meeting, including public meetings, be accepted and the recommendations contained therein be approved, with the exceptions of, and there's nothing right now, and 2, that the confidential minutes relating to the closed session portion of the January 15, 2024 all committees meeting, including public meetings, be accepted, and that the minutes remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with Section 239 of the Municipal Act.
Thank you. And someone to second that, please. Councillor Chichok, thank you. Anything that anyone would like to make comment on, or no? Okay, so I think we're ready for a vote. Okay. Are you waiting for someone? It didn't come out, Terry? Okay. There you go. Okay, so that resolution also carries. Here I was just thinking that finally we were free of any bugs, but every once in a while. So there are no reconsiderations this evening, and there are no notices of motions to rescind, and our table item remains tabled after a long time, so we will go to under 15 other business, members of council. So we'll start over there, your side. Councillor Rayner, anything tonight? No? Okay. Councillor Chichok, anything from you tonight?
I think you covered it all, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. And Councillor Riley?
Not this month. I'm good,
Not
thank
this
you.
month, okay. Councillor Trombetta, anything from you this evening? No? Okay, Councillor Bradrick is helping Councillor Bell. You having your own? Councillor Bradrick, anything that you want to mention tonight?
Sorry, I was trying to assist.
I know you were. Thank you for that.
I do not have anything right now.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Bell, I presume you're just having enough trouble with the technology, never mind, right? Okay, so already, of course, Elizabeth Zimmerman covered our coldest night, but we also have a bowling team on February 27th, so I'll mention it again, but we have room for another counselor. So if you suddenly have decided that you'd like to bowl on the 27th, we have room for one more member of council on the team. We have 3 staff, and it would be great to have 3 members of council as well.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Who do you have
You want to know who's on the team? We have Noah Nickel, okay, and we have Beth, and we have Barb, who used to bowl, Barb Henderson, and yourself, and myself, and now Councillor Chichok. Are you a bowler? You don't. Because our backup, if we didn't get another counselor, no, was not Jessica, but it was her deputy, who's never bowled in his life. So you know what, we'll take whoever we get. It's all good, thank you.
No, I thought I said that I would bowl, yeah.
Yeah, no, you said that you were going to do the coldest night. You want to do both? That's wonderful.
Sure.
Good.
I'll be frozen.
Okay, so are there any new items of business this evening? Okay, and seeing none, that will take us then, Councillor Trombetta, to bylaws, and that's you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Moved by myself that leave be granted to introduce bylaws 2024 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and that the same shall be considered and have been read a first, second, and third time with one reading, and are hereby adopted, and that the mayor and clerk are hereby authorized to sign the affixed corporate seal thereto. Any rule to this council to the contrary notwithstanding.
Okay, so someone to second the bylaws, please.
Madam Mayor, I thought properly it's supposed to be
Well, it is. I was going to actually have that discussion with the counselor afterwards. Would you like him to have to repeat it?
please, because it is the proper way. We used to actually, years ago, we used to have to read each.
You know what? Your microphone is not even on and we can't hear you. No, I can't.
Okay.
Anyways,
So,
we used to have to read them.
the entirety of the
Every
bylaw.
single one of them. So it's so short now, I mean, we don't have to make it any shorter.
Do you want me to read one bylaw 2401? Start everyone, Madam Mayor? Is that the-
Just the number, please, the appropriate full number. Because the number of the bylaw is actually the 2024-01. So,
So I said 2024-01 to.
yeah, you have to do the 2024 each time, which is what
Okay,
the
I can
council.
read them all out like we used to, that's fine.
Oh, no, we don't need that.
If
But
that's what,
thank-
if
but
that's what
thank
Council
you.
Rayner is looking for, we can read them all like we used to the old way.
That's how I began, having to read them all too. We'll take the abbreviated version, but we'll
That's
do it
fine.
appropriately.
2024, that's right.
So leave be granted to introduce bylaw 2024-1, 2020-01, 2024-02, 2024-03, 2024-04, 2024-05, 2024-06, and, for you, Council Rayner, 2024-07. And that the same shall be considered to have been read a first time, second, and a third time with one reading and are hereby adopted. And that the mayor and clerk are hereby authorized to sign and affix the corporate seal thereto, any rule of this council to the contrary notwithstanding.
Thank you, Counselor,
No
for
problem,
doing it
Madam Mayor.
appropriately. And someone to second those. Counselor,
Madam
would you
Mayor,
like to second them
yes,
now
and
that
was
he's read
said
them?
so professionally and eloquently, thank you.
Thank you. So Counselor Rayner is seconding the bylaws, and the vote will be in front of you shortly. Oh, immediately. Thank you for that, Counselor Trombetta. All right, and the bylaws carry unanimously. Thank you, councillors. So that takes us then to 18, which is confidential matters, and Counselor Chichok, you have the resolution to take us into
I
confidential.
do,
please.
Madam Mayor, and there's no bylaws attached to this one, so I'll just go forward with move by myself that the next portion of this meeting be closed to the public to consider the following pursuant to Section 239-2 of the Municipal Act 2001, 18.1, Director of Legislative Services, Jessica Dyson, Ria Personnel Matter, CAO recruitment process, for discussion, and the applicable closed session exemptions are personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, labor relations or employee negotiations, and Director of Legislative Services, Clerk Jessica Dyson, Ria Personnel Matter, identifiable individual for discussion, with the applicable closed session exemptions being personnel matter about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, labor relations or employee negotiations, and advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose.
And-
That is so moved.
Thank you. And someone to second that, please? Counselor Riley, thanks. And the vote to go into confidential, do we have it, or do you want to just, okay, it's there. So well done tonight, eh? That's good. Yeah.
See what happens when you laugh at others.
And so that takes us then into confidential, so
The booger gets you.
Well, welcome back, everyone. We've just finished with confidential, and Councillor Bradrick, you have a resolution to bring us back into open session, please?
Yes, I do, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself that this council meeting now resume in the open session at the hour of 8:41 p.m.
Thank you. And someone to second that, please? Councillor Trombetta, thank you. All in favor of returning to open session? Will we have it on our screen? Okay, so let's do a show of hands. All in favor of returning? That resolution carries. Good, thank you. Okay, so following, we do have an open session resolution, and I will need a mover and a seconder, but I will first read that Ms. Donna DeFilippis, Director of Finance/Treasurer, be appointed as Interim Chief Administrative Officer, CAO, commencing Tuesday, January 30th, 2024, until a permanent CAO has been appointed, or until July 31st, 2024, approximately 6 months, whichever may come first. So I need someone to move that, please. Councillor Riley, and someone to second it. Councillor Bell. And all in favor, by hand or by hand, good enough? Hand is good enough, good, okay, and that carries. Thank you. Okay, so before we adjourn this meeting, we have one last piece of business, and Councillor Chichok, you raised that kind of inadvertently, and that is that I did introduce Nancy at the beginning of the meeting, and what I didn't do was say why Nancy was filling in, and so we would like to recognize that this is the last official meeting for our clerks, our Director of Legislative Services, as she is about to start a maternity leave at the end of this week. And so for you, Jessica, we have just a very small gift to recognize the occasion. You will see that it's a token, and when you see what it is, you will know what it is. No, in actual fact, as a former kindergarten teacher, it is books. So something for the baby and something for the big brother. You will be able to easily see which is which. So that, anyway, with all of our best wishes for a wonderful, safe delivery and a great time at home with your new member of your family. And we're looking forward to hearing whether it's a boy or a girl eventually, that little one. Oh, no, we know that it's not that. But we do have twins coming in our corporate family because our CEO of the library is also going off on a leave and is expecting twins. So we have babies galore going on in West Lincoln right now. So anyway, so congratulations, Jessica. Thank you for your time with us. We look forward to having you back as soon as you feel ready to come back. And we're delighted to have Nancy to fill in the meantime. So thank you. Okay, so with that, I will now declare at the hour of 8:45 that this meeting is adjourned. Thank